Abhishek Maiti. I'm a director here. One of the segments that I lead is AgriTech. And today we have with us uh, Shyam Sundar, who is basically a co-founder of the AgriTech company called DeHaat. Thank you, Shyam. Thank you again for joining us. What do you think? How important is the role of the new age AgriTech players in overcoming the challenges of the agriculture
Right,
sector, given that the older companies have already been trying to do that for a long time?
right. I think, Abhishek, see, the movement of agri-tech startups in this sector has been like a decade old, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And initially, startups were trying to solve one part of the problem statements, right? Essentially focusing on a specific product or a specific service, right?
Right,
Which can benefit one part of the population. But gradually, the approach has shifted to trying to put farmers in focus
right,
at the center and solve the entire problem statement around farmers,
right,
right? The way that it is making an impact is in terms of bringing that innovation at the last mile level, where
right,
so while there are, you rightly said, there are many large companies which are already in agri having a very excellent products and everything, but the last mile customization of those offerings are something where there was a gap. And agri-tech startups, their intent and their focus on last mile execution, their focus on bringing technology at the last mile, they are trying to solve that part of the problem, I would say.
right, right. How do you feel the current agricultural scenario has to transform?
So there are a couple of things which are happening, right? In terms of that, one is that there is a focus on convergence. Okay, convergence as in multiple value chain activities, right, need to converge at one point of time. Right? So even like you will notice that food companies are talking about agri companies are talking about food. Whatever they are doing, everyone is trying to ensure that they can cover the entire mile on that, right? So this is a big change which is happening, which is focusing towards convergence. If someone is providing agri input, can they also try to solve the problem of financial services distribution, right? May not be by themselves, maybe in partnership, right? Maybe in facilitation. But a lot more effort is happening towards collaboration across the value chain, across multiple organizations which are trying to solve, which have strength in multiple aspects of the value chain. So trying to solve that through collaboration, through convergence. There is definitely an aspect of doing it in a cost-effective manner, right? So ensuring that there is a profitability which should be visible, which should be in sight. Agri market is huge. Every one of us recognize that, right? Here, the scale is not a challenge for any of us. It's the cost-effective build-up of or growth of business, which is something which all of us are mindful of, right? So in terms of new trend, in terms of what is new happening, is towards that. I would say there are two specific areas of focus that companies are having right now, right? I briefly mentioned regarding linking food with agri, right? So the branded output, the food that is going to consumer, how that can be linked to farmers, how that can be linked to best practices in agriculture through traceability solutions is an area where there is a lot of focus right? And the other area where there is a lot of focus is essentially how to organize the cattle market space.
How to organize the
Again,
cattle
because
market?
cattle is very much linked to profitability of agri, of farmers. It's very much linked. And hence, how to organize that market, how to link it with food agri, it's something which is again a trend which is right now.
Okay, great. What do you think is the future potential of digitization and technology? Everyone's talking about digitizing, but how far can it really go when it comes to the agricultural scenario? Given that we have farms and we have the entire supply chain, We have the prior to production, the raw material supply chain, all. Where all do you think digitization will play
I
a
think,
big role?
on digitization, there is a significant movement which had happened post COVID, is
Hmm.
in terms of penetration of smartphones and usage of smartphones
Hmm.
in the rural areas. And
Hmm.
this is post COVID phenomenon, I would say.
Hmm.
A page has turned, and hence data collection as well as data consumption activities, right,
Hmm.
are significantly at a different scale right now.
Hmm.
So you would see lot of efforts getting fructified in next few years because of that. Because right now your last mile linkages, farmers network, right? They are all now. Many of them now can transact and exchange information using mobile phone.
Hmm.
So bulk of tech involvement is going to
Hmm.
be at the last mile deployment level in technology.
Hmm. Okay, okay, fair enough. Do you see these agri-tech players growing to become national players, or do you continue to see these geographical hurdles limit them to certain regions? And by national player, I don't mean you have to be in all the states. Maybe if you're in 10, 12 states, then you're as good as a national player. You have a national presence.
See, I would say that companies who have a farmer focus,
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
they will grow to be national players, because at the last mile the overall nature of problem statements have a lot of similarity, right?
Right.
And the kind of relationships that you build, they are applicable for multiple geographies.
Hmm.
While startups which are focusing on a specific problem statement, say a crop or a part of the value chain, right, might limit to a different basically a limited geographical area, okay,
Okay.
where those problem statements are applicable.
Within,
And
sorry, please go ahead.
yeah, good. I'm saying that why just India? I mean, if you have a farmer focus, that is almost as applicable in other countries also,
Okay,
right? If
okay,
you are
great. Great. And within agri-tech, which are these segments, two to three segments that you feel are growing the fastest and driving the growth more than other segments? Could be like I'm basically could be input, output, advisory, hydroponics, SaaS, whatever. Which of these do you feel are the fastest growing segments and reason behind those?
yeah. So I think there is a lot of uh, right now focus on biological products.
Right.
Okay, and that segment is poised to grow very fast.
Okay.
Right. The reason is multiple. Right. The reason is anyway nutrition is a core focus area. Right.
Right.
So, and that nutrition is a core focus area. In general, people are more sensitive towards using chemical products. Prices of chemical products are also very high. There is a
Hmm.
focus on government side to reduce subsidies, right?
Right.
All those
Right.
factors are there, which
Right.
is driving the growth towards biological products, right?
Okay.
And I
Okay.
believe that this segment it will grow. I think we will also learn a lot from international markets. We believe that there is a lot of technology transfer which can happen for
Hmm.
biological products from international market. So this is one area
Hmm.
which will, I think, see, agri input and agri output will always be as it is, right? Because the requirement, the demand side, we are not going to change, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But on the supply side, what is happening is that, no, again, what I told is that linking food with agri, right?
Hmm.
So, which means that those products will see light of the day, where
Hmm.
there is a traceability built
Hmm.
till farmers level.
Got it.
Okay, and hence our belief is that farmers will be more visible, right, throughout the agri value chain, agri and food
Understood.
value.
Understood. Understood. You mentioned international sort of tie-ups or players also flowing through to the a disruption, you can say, or advancement in the biological value chain. Any other innovation or best practices that you see are prevalent in when it comes to say international players or foreign players that you see would have value if it's introduced in India?
So, see, there is a nationally and internationally, there is
Hmm.
an increased focus on climate change, right?
Hmm.
You would see that climate change is actually, we can feel, is impacting agri here a lot,
Hmm.
right? This
Hmm.
year, for the last 2 years, every major cropping season has been hit by
Hmm.
climate.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you would see things like traceability, things like carbon credit, things like regenerative agricultural practices, right? Weather insurance. So everything that can be linked to preventive and corrective measures for climate change or business opportunities out of that, they are going to get traction. And the movement is happening globally, right? Because after COP, the Paris Agreement, there is an increased focus from global players, and many of them are active in India, to actually run projects around those activities.
Thank you so much for your time for answering these questions.
Thank you, Abhishek. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.